Have you ever wondered why some people live well past 100 while others don't? Is it just genetics, or is there something more? Maybe you've seen someone in their 90s still active, walking with ease, even laughing like they have all the time in the world. Meanwhile, others struggle with health issues decades earlier. What's their secret? And more importantly, can you do it too? The truth is, science has been studying this question for years. There's no magic pill, no hidden fountain of youth, but there are habits, things these long-living people do every single day that make all the difference. And the best part? These aren't extreme changes or impossible routines. They're simple, proven, and anyone can start them today. Think about it. What if you could wake up feeling full of energy again? What if your body stayed strong, your mind stayed sharp, and you got to enjoy many more years with the people you love? That's what we're diving into today. Let's start with one of the most surprising factors that separate those who live to 100 from those who don't. It's something you might not expect, but it plays a huge role in longevity. It's not just about what you eat or how much you exercise, though those are important too. It's about how you see life. Scientists have found that the people who live the longest tend to have a deep sense of purpose. They wake up every morning with a reason to keep going. It could be taking care of a garden, teaching a grandchild something new, or simply knowing that their presence makes a difference in someone's life. This sense of purpose has a powerful effect on the body. It reduces stress, strengthens the immune system, and even protects the heart. In Japan, where some of the longest living people in the world reside, they have a word for this, ikigai. It means reason for being. It's what gets them up in the morning with a sense of excitement, no matter their age. And here's the thing, you don't need to have a big, world-changing mission. Your ikigai could be as simple as cooking for your family, volunteering, or enjoying your morning walk with a friend. The key is to have something that makes you look forward to tomorrow. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I don't know what my purpose is? That's okay. It's never too late to find it. Start by asking yourself, what brings you joy? What's something small that makes you feel good inside? Maybe it's a hobby you used to love but haven't done in years. Maybe it's connecting with people in a meaningful way. Even the smallest purpose can add years to your life. This brings us to another surprising truth about longevity. The people who live the longest don't just take care of their bodies, they take care of their social connections too. Loneliness has been linked to higher risks of heart disease, cognitive decline, and even early death. But those who reach 100 and beyond, they have strong relationships. They stay connected, whether it's with family, friends, or their community. Studies have shown that having even just one close friend or confidant can dramatically improve your health. It lowers stress, boosts happiness, and gives life meaning. It doesn't have to be a big social circle. Quality matters more than quantity. Even if you're naturally introverted, having one or two meaningful connections can make a world of difference. In Okinawa, Japan, one of the world's famous blue zones for longevity, people have something called a moai, a lifelong group of friends who support each other, emotionally and even financially if needed. They stay in touch, check in on each other, and make sure no one feels alone. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but what if my social circle has gotten smaller over the years? That's completely understandable. Life changes, people move, situations shift. But here's the good news, you can build meaningful connections at any age. Start small. A simple conversation with a neighbor, a call to an old friend, or even joining a local club or group can make all the difference. If you don't know where to start, think about what interests you. Love books? Join a book club. Enjoy gardening? Find a community garden. Even online connections can be valuable, video calls, messages, or virtual meetups. The key is to stay engaged, to make the effort, even when it feels easier to just stay home. At this point, you might be realizing something. Living a long, healthy life isn't just about diet or exercise. It's about mindset, purpose, and connection. It's about waking up with something to look forward to and knowing that you're not alone. And the best part? It's never too late to start. Now that we've uncovered the power of purpose and connection in living a long and fulfilling life, let's dive into another key factor that sets centenarians apart. You might think it's some advanced medical secret or rare genetic advantage, but the truth is much simpler: what they eat. You've probably heard the saying, "You are what you eat." But have you ever thought about how your diet could be shaping not just your energy today, but your longevity in the decades to come? Scientists have spent years studying the diets of the world's longest living people, and one thing is clear: what goes on your plate matters. Think about this. Have you ever eaten a big meal, full of heavy, processed foods, and afterward felt sluggish, maybe even a little irritable? Now, compare that to a fresh, home-cooked meal with natural ingredients, one that left you feeling light, energized, and satisfied. That difference isn't just about comfort. It's about longevity. Across the world's blue zones, places where people commonly live past 100, there's a pattern. Their diets are mostly plant-based, rich in fresh vegetables, fruits, nuts, and whole grains. Meat? They eat it, but only in small amounts, often as a side dish rather than the main event. Processed foods? They're rare, if present at all. And sugar? It's used sparingly, not as a daily indulgence but as an occasional treat. One of the most remarkable things about these diets isn't just what's on the plate but how they eat. Many centenarians follow a principle called hara hachibu, a concept from Okinawa, Japan, that means eat until you're 80% full. Instead of stuffing themselves until they feel bloated, they stop eating when they're just satisfied, before they feel completely full. This simple habit naturally reduces calorie intake and prevents overeating, which has been linked to a longer lifespan. But before you start thinking this means you need to switch to a strict diet of tofu and vegetables, let's be clear: small, sustainable changes are what really matter. You don't have to give up everything you love. Instead, think of ways to make better choices. Maybe it's swapping out processed snacks for nuts or fresh fruit. Maybe it's having a few more meat-free meals each week. Maybe it's simply slowing down while eating, so you recognize when you're truly satisfied instead of eating out of habit. And let's not forget one of the most powerful secrets of longevity: what you drink. While soda and sugary beverages are rarely found in the diets of centenarians, one drink is almost always present: tea. Whether it's green tea in Japan, herbal teas in the Mediterranean, or black tea in other cultures, tea is packed with antioxidants that fight inflammation and protect the body from aging. Water, too, plays a huge role. Staying hydrated isn't just about avoiding thirst. It keeps your organs functioning properly, helps your joints stay flexible, and even supports brain health. Many people mistake mild dehydration for hunger, leading them to eat when what their body really needs is water. Now, you might be thinking, but I've been eating the way I do for years. Can changing now really make a difference? Absolutely. Studies have shown that even in later years, dietary changes can have a profound impact on health and longevity. Your body is always responding to what you put in it, and it's never too late to give it the best fuel possible. And speaking of fuel, there's another key factor that plays a massive role in how long you live: how you move. It's not about spending hours in the gym or pushing yourself to exhaustion. The longest living people in the world don't run marathons or lift heavy weights. Instead, they simply stay active in their everyday lives. In places like Sardinia, Italy, and Icaria, Greece, people naturally move throughout the day, walking to visit friends, tending to their gardens, or simply doing daily tasks that keep them on their feet. They're not sitting for long hours, glued to a screen or stuck in a chair. Movement is woven into their daily routines, keeping their bodies strong and their hearts healthy without them even thinking about it. But here's something really fascinating. Studies have found that people who engage in moderate, consistent movement actually live longer than those who do high-intensity workouts and then sit for the rest of the day. That means you don't need a hardcore exercise routine to extend your life. Just regular, natural movement, walking, stretching, even standing up more often, can make a huge difference. So, if you're someone who doesn't love structured exercise, don't worry. You don't have to hit the gym to live a long life. Instead, find ways to incorporate movement naturally. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk while talking on the phone. stretch during TV commercials. Even small habits add up over time, and your body will thank you for it. At this point, you might be starting to see the bigger picture. The people who live to 100 don't rely on extreme diets or intense workouts. Instead, they embrace simple, sustainable habits, eating well, moving naturally, staying connected, and having a reason to get up every morning. And the best part? Anyone can start these habits, no matter their age. Now that we've talked about how eating well and staying active can add years to your life, let's explore another surprising truth about longevity: your mindset. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to stay youthful, no matter their age? They have a certain lightness, a joy for life that makes them feel younger than the number on their birth certificate. Meanwhile, others seem to age faster, weighed down by stress, negativity, and a sense of resignation. It turns out, how you think about aging can actually shape how you age. Researchers have discovered that people with a positive outlook on growing older tend to live longer, by an average of 7.5 years. That's not just wishful thinking. It's science. Think about it. When you believe aging means decline, your brain and body start to follow that script. You're more likely to avoid trying new things, to move less, to withdraw from life. But when you see aging as a new chapter filled with possibilities, your body responds differently. You stay engaged. You remain curious. You continue to grow. In cultures where people live the longest, aging isn't seen as a burden, it's seen as a gift. In Okinawa, elders are respected and valued, not pushed aside. In Sardinia, Italy, older adults are the heart of family gatherings, sharing wisdom and laughter. When you feel valued and included, you naturally stay more active, physically, mentally, and socially. But what if the world around you doesn't always encourage that? What if you live in a place where aging is associated with limitations rather than opportunities? That's where your own mindset becomes even more powerful. It starts with small shifts. Instead of thinking, "I'm too old for that," try, "Why not give it a try?" Instead of saying, "I can't do what I used to," focus on what you can do. Maybe you don't run as fast, but you walk more mindfully. Maybe you don't remember every detail perfectly, but you've gained the kind of wisdom only experience can bring. And speaking of the mind, there's something else centenarians do that helps them stay sharp: they keep learning. The brain is like a muscle, and just like any muscle, it needs to be exercised. That doesn't mean solving complex math problems or memorizing long lists. It can be as simple as reading, learning a few words in a new language, trying a new hobby, or even just having stimulating conversations. Have you ever met someone who never stops being curious? They're always interested in the world, in people, in new ideas. That curiosity keeps the brain young. Neuroscientists have found that learning new things actually builds new connections in the brain, helping to prevent cognitive decline. So, whether it's playing a musical instrument, gardening, or even experimenting with a new recipe, the act of learning itself keeps you mentally strong. And while we're on the subject of keeping the mind engaged, there's something else that might surprise you: stress. Or rather, how you handle it. We all experience stress. It's part of life. But the difference between those who live to 100 and those who don't often comes down to how they respond to stress. Chronic stress, the kind that lingers and builds up, takes a serious toll on the body. It weakens the immune system, increases inflammation, and accelerates aging at a cellular level. But here's the thing: centenarians feel stress too. The difference? They don't let it control them. Instead of holding on to anger, resentment, or worry, they find ways to release it. Some pray or meditate. Others laugh it off or take a walk. Many rely on strong social bonds to talk things through rather than bottling things up inside. If you've ever spent time around someone who's lived a long, happy life, you'll notice they don't sweat the small stuff. They've learned that life is too short to carry grudges, to dwell on things they can't change. They focus on what matters and let the rest go. And maybe that's one of the greatest lessons from those who reach 100, not just how to live longer, but how to live better. Now that we've explored how mindset and stress management play a crucial role in longevity, let's talk about something just as powerful: connection. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have an endless network of friends, family, and acquaintances? They always have someone to talk to laugh with, to share a meal with. And then, there are others who spend more time alone, who don't have as many social interactions. It turns out, this difference doesn't just affect how happy you feel, it actually affects how long you live. One of the biggest secrets of the longest living people is simple: they don't do life alone. Science has shown that strong social connections can add years to your life. Studies have found that loneliness is as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in for a moment. Feeling isolated, disconnected, or lonely doesn't just make you sad, it physically affects your body. It weakens the immune system, increases inflammation, and even raises the risk of heart disease and dementia. On the flip side, people who have strong relationships, whether with family, friends, or a community, tend to live longer and healthier lives. And it's not just about having a lot of friends. It's about having meaningful connections. In places where people commonly live past 100, like Okinawa, Japan, or Nicoya, Costa Rica, social connection is built into daily life. In Okinawa, people form lifelong social groups called moais, small circles of friends who support each other emotionally and even financially if needed. They share meals, check in on each other, and never let anyone feel alone. In Sardinia, Italy, elders are deeply embedded in their communities, playing an active role in family and social gatherings. So what does this mean for you? It means prioritizing connection, real, face-to-face human interaction. It doesn't have to be complicated. Something as simple as making time for a phone call, having lunch with a friend, or even chatting with a neighbor can make a difference. And if you feel like your social circle isn't as strong as it used to be, there's always an opportunity to build new connections. Join a local group, take a class, volunteer, or simply start saying yes more often to invitations. It's never too late to create meaningful relationships. And the beauty of this? It doesn't just extend your life, it makes it richer, fuller, and more joyful. But there's another kind of connection that's just as important: the connection to a purpose. If you've ever felt like you're just going through the motions, like your days lack meaning, you're not alone. Many people, especially after retirement, struggle with this feeling. But those who live the longest tend to have something that keeps them going, a reason to wake up every morning. In Okinawa, they call it ikigai, a sense of purpose. In Nicoya, they refer to it as plan de vida, a life plan. Whatever you call it, the idea is the same: having something that gives your life meaning. It could be taking care of your grandchildren, pursuing a passion, helping others, or even something as simple as tending to a garden. And here's the thing: this doesn't just make you feel better emotionally. It has real, measurable effects on your body. People with a strong sense of purpose have lower stress levels, healthier hearts, and even stronger immune systems. So, if you've been feeling like you're lacking direction, ask yourself, what excites you? What makes you feel useful, engaged, and alive? It doesn't have to be something big. Even small things, like helping a neighbor or learning a new skill, can make a world of difference. Because in the end, longevity isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. We've talked about mindset, stress, and the power of human connection. Now, let's explore something that might surprise you: how movement, not just exercise, but movement, plays a crucial role in living a long, vibrant life. Here's something to think about. Have you ever noticed how older adults in certain cultures stay active well into their 90s or even 100s? They're out in the garden, walking through their neighborhoods, cooking, cleaning, and even dancing. And yet, in many modern societies, aging is often associated with slowing down, sitting more, and doing less. The truth is, the human body was designed to move. And when we stop moving, things start to break down. One of the biggest longevity secrets of the world's longest living people is that they don't go to the gym, at least, not in the way we think of it. They don't spend hours lifting weights or running on treadmills. Instead, they move naturally throughout the day. In Okinawa, the elderly tend their own gardens, squat instead of sitting in chairs, and walk everywhere. In Sardinia, Italy, shepherds still climb steep hills daily, even into their 80s and 90s. In Ikaria, Greece, people take long, leisurely walks through the mountains. The key isn't intense exercise. It's consistency. And here's what's really fascinating. Research shows that even small movements, like standing up frequently, stretching, or taking short walks, can significantly reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even cognitive decline. In fact, sitting too much has been called the new smoking because of how damaging it can be. So, if you want to add more years to your life, the goal isn't to push yourself to the point of exhaustion. It's to keep moving in ways that feel natural and enjoyable. Start by making small tweaks to your routine. Stand up and stretch every hour. Take a walk after meals. Use the stairs instead of the elevator. Dance while you cook. Even something as simple as gardening or playing with your grandkids counts. And if you're thinking, but I have joint pain, or I'm not as strong as I used to be, don't worry. Gentle movements like yoga, tai chi, and swimming can be incredibly effective and easy on the body. The key is to find something you love and stick with it. Because when you keep moving, you're not just adding years to your life, you're making sure those years are full of energy, strength, and independence. But movement is only one piece of the puzzle. There's another factor that's just as important: what you put into your body. We've covered movement and how staying active in natural, enjoyable ways can add years to your life. But what about fueling that movement? What you put into your body every day, your food, your drinks, even your supplements, has a direct impact on how well you age. Now, you've probably heard all sorts of advice about what to eat and what to avoid. But let's step back and look at what science and real-life centenarians, the people who actually live past 100, are doing. One thing is crystal clear: diets high in whole, natural foods are linked to longer lifespans. And that's not just some passing health trend. It's been proven by studying the blue zones, the 5 places in the world where people live the longest. Let's take a look at their secret. In Okinawa, Japan, where some of the world's oldest people live, their diet consists mostly of sweet potatoes, vegetables, tofu, and small portions of fish. They rarely eat processed food or sugary snacks. In Sardinia, Italy, people enjoy whole grains, beans, olive oil, and red wine in moderation. In Ikaria, Greece, their meals are packed with fresh vegetables, legumes, and plenty of herbs like rosemary and oregano, many of which have natural anti-inflammatory properties. Do you see a pattern here? People who live the longest don't eat highly processed foods. They don't overload on sugar. And they definitely don't eat fast food every other day. Instead, they eat whole, real food that nourishes the body. And here's something really interesting: most of these people don't eat much meat. When they do, it's often a small portion, just a few times a week. The bulk of their diet comes from plant-based foods like beans, lentils, nuts, and vegetables. But before you start thinking, oh no, does this mean I can't enjoy my favorite foods? Don't worry. It's not about never eating meat or never indulging in a treat. It's about making better choices most of the time. Here's a simple way to start: just add more of the good stuff to your plate. More colorful vegetables. More fiber-rich foods like beans and whole grains. More healthy fats from nuts, seeds, and olive oil. And let's talk about water. So many people walk around mildly dehydrated every single day without realizing it. And dehydration isn't just about feeling thirsty. It can lead to headaches, fatigue, joint pain, and even confusion. Your body is mostly water, and when you don't get enough, every part of you suffers. Want to keep your energy up? Keep your skin glowing? Keep your joints feeling smooth? Drink more water. And if plain water feels boring, try herbal teas, lemon water, or even broth-based soups. The key is to stay hydrated without relying on sugary drinks or sodas. Now, let's bring this all together. You don't need a fancy diet plan. You don't need expensive supplements. You just need to do what people in the longest living cultures have been doing for centuries: eat more real food, less junk, and stay hydrated. But there's still one more huge factor in longevity that people often overlook. And it has nothing to do with food, movement, or even genetics. It's easy to think that longevity is just about eating right and moving your body. And yes, those things are incredibly important. But here's something most people don't realize: your mindset and emotional well-being can be just as powerful in determining how long you live. Think about this. Have you ever met someone who seems to radiate positivity, no matter what life throws at them? Someone who finds joy in small things, who laughs often, who keeps a sense of purpose even as they age. These people tend to live longer. And it's not a coincidence. Science has shown that stress, loneliness, and negativity can actually shorten your lifespan. Chronic stress increases inflammation in the body, damages your cells, and even speeds up the aging process. On the other hand, people who stay socially connected, who practice gratitude, and who wake up each day with a sense of purpose tend to live longer, healthier lives. Let's talk about purpose. In Okinawa, Japan, there's a concept called ikigai, which roughly translates to reason for being. It's the idea that having something, a hobby, a mission, a passion, keeps you going, even into old age. For some, it's gardening. For others, it's teaching, volunteering, or even just spending time with grandkids. Whatever it is, having something to wake up for each day can add years to your life. And then there's the power of relationships. We live in a world where social media makes it easy to stay connected on the surface, but real, meaningful relationships, those take effort. And they're worth it. Loneliness is one of the biggest risk factors for early death. In fact, some studies suggest that being socially isolated can be as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's why people in the longest living regions of the world make community a priority. They have strong social circles, they spend time with friends and family, and they actively nurture their relationships. So if you want to live longer, don't just focus on what's on your plate, focus on who's at your table. Make time for people. Connect, share, laugh. And let's not forget about laughter. Have you ever noticed how kids laugh all the time, but adults seem to lose that ability as they age? Well, laughter isn't just good for your mood, it actually boosts your immune system, lowers stress, and even improves heart health. So, if you're looking for an easy way to add years to your life, find something to laugh about every single day. Watch a funny show, share a joke with a friend, or just learn to laugh at life's little absurdities. And here's the best part: when you combine all these factors, they work together to create a longer, healthier, and happier life. But before we wrap up, there's still one final piece of the puzzle. And it might just be the most surprising truth of all about why some people live to 100. There's one last truth about longevity that often gets overlooked. It's not about diet, exercise, or even relationships, though all of those play a role. It's about how you handle change. Life is full of unexpected twists. Health issues, loss of loved ones, financial struggles, everyone faces challenges. But here's what separates those who thrive from those who don't: resilience. Resilience is the ability to adapt, to keep going, to find new meaning even when life doesn't go as planned. And studies show that resilient people tend to live longer. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who, no matter what happens, always seems to find a way forward? They don't let setbacks define them. Instead, they embrace change and keep moving. That's the key. Centenarians, those who live to 100 and beyond, often talk about how they've had to adapt to the world changing around them. They don't resist change, they flow with it. They embrace new experiences, they stay curious, and they never stop learning. And you can do the same. Try new things. Learn a new skill. Travel somewhere you've never been. Read books that challenge your thinking. Stay open to different perspectives. Because keeping your mind active and engaged is one of the best ways to ensure a long, fulfilling life. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. Longevity isn't just about one thing, it's about the combination of many small, powerful habits. The way you eat, the way you move, the way you connect with others, and even the way you think all play a role. So, if you take just one thing away from this, let it be this: you have more control over your health and longevity than you think. Your future isn't just about genetics or luck, it's about the choices you make every single day. And the best part? It's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, or even 80, small changes can have huge benefits. So go ahead. Take a deep breath. Smile. And remember, you have the power to live a longer, healthier, and happier life. Here's to many more years of joy, adventure, and good health. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What's one habit you swear by for a long and healthy life? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and keep embracing life to the fullest.